I regret going there to Yellowstone. At first I was happy since I was mainly going just to see my favorite animal, and that of course was deer. Little did I know what I'd see was far from any normal deer. Anyways, for context, I live somewhere near Wyoming, not gonna say where for obvious reasons. Anyways, once I saw the sign that said Yellowstone National Park, you could imagine my excitement. Once I got up to the entrance station, I was so excited I paid. Then I was free go enter. I saw a lot of animals there. As you could imagine, I saw moose, bison, elk, cougars, and so many more. I was even more happier when I spotted a small herd of deer. I watched them from a distance and took photos of them with my phone. After I took about 4-6 photos of the deer, I went over to a nearby bench. I had brought a water bottle and a sandwich chips and an apple. I was eating my sandwich and scrolling through photos I had taken of the deer when I noticed something. One of the deer, a doe, looked strange. I couldn't quite see what it was that was off about her, but I just knew that a deer shouldn't look like that. And that's when I realized. Her eyes, it was light outside, but I could see them clearly. Her eyes were white. And she looked bigger than any normal deer should be. That, and also she was a doe, not a buck. I thought the males were bigger than the females, right? I looked over to where I had seen the deer. They were still there. I got up and walked a little closer, trying to find the deer I had seen when I was looking through my photos. I couldn't see her. I stopped looking after I realized that maybe her eyes reflected off the sun or something, and that's what made them white. As for the size, I couldn't come up with a reasonable explanation. Maybe an elk got confused or something and is just hanging out with a herd of deer. After a while, I was about to leave. It was getting dark, and I didn't know when the park closed, but I guessed it was soon. And that's when I noticed it. Standing in the light of one of the street lights was a deer. But I slowly realized it wasn't normal. It was the same deer I saw earlier, but her eyes were no doubt white, and it being night and under a light, her eyes were even more brighter. You know how prey animals have eyes on both sides and predators have them in front? Yeah, well, this deer had them in the front, like a predator would. I also noticed she had a canine-like muzzle. I say this because I could see 2 sets of sharp teeth through her half-open mouth. Also, I noticed that parts of her fur skin were rotting off or falling off. I couldn't really tell. But it looked like both then. The final thing that made me snap out of my trance was when she literally stood up on her hind legs. She let out this awful noise. It sounded like a mix of a screech and an elk call. I turned and ran as fast as I ever did. I'm currently at my house typing this. To any Yellowstone employees that see this, please look out for a deer with white eyes. I've heard many stories before, and I'm fully convinced that what I saw was a skinwalker or a not deer.